I've gone most of my life in deep fear of falling short. My ego would say short of success, but my heart would say short of effort, short of the pursuit. As a kid, I always felt a strong sense of why.
Yeah, because Jake's gonna
Mainly just because I never knew anything else other than telling little stories for the internet.
How do you move closer?
My issue was understanding how that why manifests into tangible things in life. Movies, money, and movements. As I get older, I try and remind myself that the answers to my introspective life questions are unfortunately not behind ChatGPT prompts and self-improvement books. I find it heavily overwhelming at times to take that why and boil it down to your own blueprint. Today, we are intoxicated with microwaved content that, in my opinion, spreads a false sense of affirmation. If you just follow these 3 tips, you'll have this by this. If you just buy this camera, you'll be able to achieve this look. Nobody wants to tell you that this pursuit of whatever it is that lights you up is fucking grueling. It's confusing, filled with a shitstorm of mistakes, reality checks, and an endless list of questions that you might not ever get answers for. I made a promise a long time ago to my younger self that I wouldn't sugarcoat the process of pursuing this dream of becoming a filmmaker at the highest level. I have zero traditional film background, and my dream is for one of these stories to eventually hit the big screen. I want this film to give you a raw look into a 6-month process of creating an original doc-series and premiere launch event. Small team, no pre-existing budget or brand partnership. This is just us creating Spotlight from scratch. All right, team. Bear with me here. There is construction. This whole idea for season 1 of Spotlight was birthed in the studio, peak winter, December. Make a little bit more like a, I don't know, like, not like a splash, but maybe we do a premiere, I don't know, maybe we premiere, like maybe there's like
100%. Like that, I think that it's so much easier for me to see the world of like how we build off of that. If it's like a TV show style thing, we can plan a screening, like you can plan a release for the first one.
I think it's important, especially when you're working in a team, to solidify like, what are we actually all contributing to this? Myself as the director and editor, Liam as the host, Christian producing the whole thing, especially the event, and Hunter coming in to help with post-production and all the animations. Initially, Liam and I spent a lot of time researching and understanding the story of the guests so that when we go into these interviews, we try to give ourselves a better idea of what the video is going to look like from a story standpoint so that my life in post-production isn't hell. The bulk of winter was just meeting and trying to figure out logistical timing of when we're going to film, what current events we're going to film alongside their interviews. This is why I feel like Spotlight is special, is because you actually get a peek into their life, whether it's following along for a clothing collection drop, whether it's following along for a photo shoot that you're modeling and styling, or if you're following along for a DJ event. Truthfully, that's what I feel like was separating this series from just another like podcast or interview show, was that we actually are going to give you guys some access to these people's lives that you might not get on socials from a first person, but rather a third person perspective, just mic'd up, fly on the wall style. I pulled a lot of references from TV shows like How to Make It in America, the Apple Music interview series with Zane Lowe, and also just other documentaries.
Happy ending.
Getting excited and super inspired about a project is one thing. I find that to be relatively easy, especially with your friends just jamming on ideas, but executing and coming up with an actual plan to get these things done with everyone's schedule, I knew that that was going to be our biggest challenge. This is going to be the more technical side of this for all my film people or anyone that's interested in how these productions can come to life with really 2 to 3 people, 2 to 3 cameras, and some mics. The biggest thing I'm focusing on for these interviews is audio, because I know that a lot of the times there's going to be B-roll over their interview clips or wherever they're at to help the video flow. But we shot this on Sony FX3, Sony A7S3, and for the third camera angle for some of the interviews we did the Sony A7C2. Really just trying to get as many different angles as possible, but when we're in the street running around, it's max 2 cameras, mainly just me running and gunning in the rain, wherever we are, Williamsburg, Upper West Side, and I'm just headphones in, trying to figure out how you can make something feel organic, but also feel like it's easy to watch, if that makes sense. The minute the camera's too shaky, or there's crazy movement, and you're focusing on different things, as a viewer, you're taken out of the story and out of the experience. Really, you just have to do your best and mic up the people to the best of your ability. If something sounds loud or off, or the camera angle is off, knowing that you're going to hate yourself in the edit because you didn't say something, you have to be the one that stops wherever we're doing to make sure that it sounds, looks, and feels great. Especially as the director, you need to really direct and help yourself 2 months from now when you're going through the footage and be like, this sounds, looks, and feels great. Another thing I wanted to note was just continuing to roll when you aren't in those key question moments. A lot of the time we only had 1 day to interview these people, which is a long time, but you can pick up a lot of candid and cool moments outside of just the normal questions that Liam's asking them. I noticed that you're able to really humanize people when it's not so queued up for them. I always pride myself on being able to pick up these moments in between that really help piece together and humanize our guests and makes it feel a little bit more authentic and real and in the room than just having strictly questions and answers.
It was taking me further and further away from from the...
I would say that that's also just the beauty of New York. You know, you never really know what you're gonna film on the street or what type of moments you're gonna get, and you gotta be ready for those when they strike. That's the beauty of a true documentary, is you can only plan so much, but once you get into the field and you're trying your best to document in the present, just understand that that's when you probably are gonna get your best stuff.
February 17th, 2025. We had just finished up our second documentary shoot of the year with Level 3 Collective. At the end of 2024, I made a promise to myself, business-wise, that I would be willing to say no to opportunities, go less hard on the client side of things, and go way, way more into my own personal brand, building out, create more as its own production studio. Since I've been more consistent with my own and building my own channels and community, there's been an influx of stuff coming in my way. It's a lot of just decision making, not knowing who to ask for help, not knowing what to say yes to, what to say no to, where I should put my time, and going with my gut with every decision, every edit, every film, every email, every DM. Is this the right thing to be doing? Is this the wrong thing to be doing? Is this the right person to be talking to? Is it the wrong person to be talking to? Is this video worth my time? Is anyone going to see this? Trying to be as genuine as I can. It sounds so corny to say that, but it's true. Like, I don't know any other way, because I think there's just so much shit out there now that isn't real. It's 5 ways to do this, or blah, 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 to do this. And for myself, I've learned so slowly, and I want people to know that that's okay to learn slowly. It took me 10 years to understand how to use a camera. Like, truly 10 years to understand how to use a camera. Kids pick up a camera now and they're flying. And I'm only 26 now, but I just want people to know through my learnings and my own grueling process that is so worth it. Like, everything now on the internet is fed to you, or you have access to it, or, oh my God, make 10K this month by just signing up for this. I don't ever want to push that on anyone, because that for me is the fucking worst way to learn. Like, that is the most shortcut shit ever. I don't really know why I'm going off on this rant, I beat myself up all the time because yeah, I do need help. I really do need help on all fronts of helping maybe with my own content, helping with my client work. I'm still the only editor really that is producing content for brands and these people that I'm working with. So yeah, I'd love to be able to build out a team on a consistent basis, but I haven't found a way to extend that process yet.
It's not as easy as it looks on Instagram and stuff, where there's all these jobs coming in for everyone. It's like, you gotta make that sure.
I'm like so like lucky and grateful to have found this stuff with Sam, because like Sam and like I've been
great thing for you.
it's awesome, it's perfect. Like I couldn't have asked for a better situation.
Because Sam did this.
Look through. He sent me like their branding kit.
Okay.
Right now I'm doing like a drawn animation sequence on the iPad, but all day I've just been like cutting stuff out and trying to do like cool different little match cuts kind of in her own style, and she's obviously a little bit better at it than us, but we're trying we're trying our best to make something that looks cool and that everyone's proud of.
It's this huge high and this sigh of relief when you finish these shoot days, and then you realize that the real work is about to
Tell me if
start.
this isn't like a necessary part of the story, but I think it's a cool.
For all the post-production and for us, our planning for the premiere event. How we went about editing these always started with Liam and I sorting through all the interview footage and time-stamping moments, marking key gems that we thought would be good for the story, and taking our time to create an overarching structure. I personally felt like this was going to be the reintroduction of the brand and production studio, Create More. I can say for the team, we all wanted this experience to feel like it came from Create More, and of course, the guests that we were showcasing. And that's an investment that I don't think there's a right or wrong answer on, but I will say you learn a lot about how much this thing actually really costs and the production budget for the event outside of the production budget for these shoots. As Liam and I focused on the interviews and starting to get cooking on the edits, Christian took over the event planning and the whole experience. You know, after we toured this spot in Greenpoint, we all were like, this is it.
Like for an hour and a half, like we don't let anybody, people don't need to be in there. Because I'm imagining when we open the doors, it's like, hey everyone,
It's
like,
a movie theater.
it's a movie theater, like we're gonna do a screening in here. Like everyone make your way to the theater, we'll close it when it's full.
Newsflash, there's a movie theater we didn't tell you about.
But then
That's actually way, I like that more.
because then
Tell the people what just happened.
we just got an email. We got the rate back.
We didn't get it on camera though.
He didn't get the moment on camera. Oh, that would have been sick. We got a lovely email from 100 Sutton. They gave us the rate for the place. It's a great deal. It's a great deal, reasonable price. We think we can get it, and that space is awesome. It's perfect.
I'm just trying to think about like quality over quantity, and the experience that you should always leave with is like, you should always feel empowered or excited to work on your own creative endeavors. And that's at the core of the brand, is like, what was for me became for us and then became for you.
Yeah.
This is the least sexy part of this whole process. Me sitting over there at my computer, editing for what feels like forever. I've truthfully spent so much time this year just like grinding. And I hate to use that word because it's so like grind, like work your ass off, hustle culture. But I feel as though that's what I should be doing, because I'm so lucky to have a space to work in and have these opportunities in front of me that I don't want to ever, waste might not be the right word, but I don't want to let those opportunities slip and look back and be like, oh, we could have done this, or we could have tried this. And at this point in my life, I feel like this is what I should be dedicating a lot of my time and energy to. And I know that throughout the year too, I'll go through waves of not being hunkered down in the studio editing for 8 to 10 hours a day. But for right now, I feel like this is sort of what I signed myself up for.
And they're engaged and learning about these people in the exhibits. They just sat through a trailer and they walked away from here going like, wow, like I see documentaries in this different way.
Yeah, and be okay if it takes time.
Yeah. Totally.
You know, like be okay if you have to re-show this promise 4 times to people over 3 years, but knowing that when they get to that destination, like you are the only name that sits in their mind.
I love that.
That's a Netflix. That's a big brand saying, hey, we want to start telling documentaries in a new way.
Something that I want to get across in this video without sounding hopefully like an asshole is in order to do things like this that don't generate money immediately, maybe the ROI on these things come later. It can kind of like fuck with your head a little bit just because I'm sitting here putting a lot of time and energy. Me, Hunter, Christian, Liam, like the whole team is, but I think selfishly for me, it's like justifying this work for hopefully a large return, maybe next month, the month after, whenever that comes, whether that's funding for the next season or a big partnership or just growth within our own community. The mind can kind of go crazy, especially when I'm editing these, because I candidly am turning down a lot of other opportunities that can sound attractive, whether that's just financially or cool brands to work with. I've said no more this year than I have ever in my career, which is a great thing, but it also doesn't mean that it's easy, and it doesn't mean that my brain doesn't go a little bit crazy when I'm editing these things, and a little bit of the business side of me is like, is this worth it? I know that this is a really cool project and something that I'm very passionate about, even though I'm the one that sort of initiated this whole thing. I can even have my own doubts about it, and I think that's really normal. It just, no one really wants to talk about it because, especially when you spearhead things, you're responsible for carrying the energy from start to finish throughout the course of that project. And to say that I don't think that this might be worth it sounds like I'm being vulnerable or insecure, but that's just the truth. Like, I don't think any of us really know what we're doing, but we're just doing it to the best of our ability. And I've always just tried to follow that principle and see where it can take us.
Oh, where's the TV wall gonna go? How big is the TV wall going? Oh, 4x8, right there. 4x8, smack in the middle of the venue. Oh,
it would be really easy right now to scrap this whole thing and be like, let's just focus on client work, or let's just focus on doing cookie cutter projects that make sense. But you got to go back to your why a little bit of like, okay, why did I move here? What was the initial point of picking up a camera in the first place? And it wasn't money. It wasn't trying to work with the biggest brands or climb the ladder or whatever you want to call it. It was to tell stories and tell them my way in how I experience them and see them. And so we're trying to go back to the core. And I think it's important throughout anyone's career, whether it's creative or whatever, to sort of always go back to the core of why you started. And that can look different for everyone. But for me, it looks like this. We also spent so much time promoting this and making sure our rollout felt interesting and unique, and it wasn't just an Instagram clip like, yo, come to our event. Took the creative approach of like how people roll out albums and how people build up hype for films, and tried to create a little bit of our own buzz for selling tickets, for just getting people invested.
Are people excited by giving a reel that's like, this is actually what Spotlight is? Like, it's like, we were running around, we were covering the story.
And aware of what we were trying to showcase.
It's 18 feet.
Oh, it's hella long.
Yeah, hella long. So, that's why I'm thinking, like, we don't need to cut the width. We put one piece.
Probably what I remember most is just all the days leading up, all the little moments where you realize that it's so cheesy to say, but like the process is really everything. The people that you end up spending your time with, the people that you're constantly texting back and forth with, different edits and feedback, like that is paramount to everything.
Slip off your dress, babe, so I can slip off your dress, babe, so I can slip off your dress, babe, so I can
You literally need a 6'4" guy. That would be my only change. No, not actually move. I meant just switch the playback. Yeah, sorry, yeah. No, physically, I think everything looks great.
But yeah, because that way people show up on time.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m.
6:15, yeah, 6:15. Just because we want it to be 15 minutes earlier, so they're there for the speeches, you know? Like I'm building a buffer in just to. That's what we're doing tonight.
We have a lot of those things.
There's 9 of them.
So it's 12:50 now. It's gonna take them 2 to 3 hours to set up the other 8. They're all gonna be triangles. TVs are all set up. Molly's on flowers. I'm kind of just doing nothing right now, but the merch table will be set up later. A lot of moving parts.
There we go. Finally. Right on time. I know perfectly, dude. By the way, 6:30.
Super down score.
Where is
He says he wants to wait to watch it here. I was hitting him up earlier this week, and I was like super nervous that he would like not like it or whatever, just because I don't know. I don't want to show someone. So I don't want their approval first, but it's like so special. He's like, I trust you guys. I want to watch it there with his people, you know. Our update is 3:25. These guys worked their magic and somehow set up all of these amazing art installations. We just ran through all the docs inside. Mom and Dad working OT. So many things that went into this, and like, to be honest, takes a village, especially for an event at this scale. 225 people on RCP right now, so hopefully we're able to control and like create a cool experience for everyone. And like, it was just cool. I had a moment in there to watch all the docs through for the first time all together. Definitely gonna be like a moment because we feel like we've been working towards this for so long that it's gonna hit hard, hopefully. But Liam's also supposed to come in at 6 p.m. So hopefully everybody makes it on time. And a thing to note is like, we didn't market it like this. This is gonna all be sort of a surprise for the guests and for everyone that's coming, because I think they're just gonna come and watch a video and leave. So
no one knows what to expect.
No one knows that like, this is part of the experience, which is all on Dottie and Christian to basically put this whole thing together.
And I'm excited for everyone to see.
Surprise! If I haven't met you, my name is Sam. I started Create More on accident in my dorm room, and it's turned into this, meeting these guys, and eventually turning into a production studio and making all these documentaries. And I want to give a big thank you to Christian and Dottie, Molly, Jake, my parents, everyone that made this whole thing come to life. Liam just got in on a flight, so I can't really thank him, but I love you.
But now we found it. And if you flash your heart,
And I thought that shit was crazy. Like, I think we brought together not only just friends and family, but we brought together people who, one, either follow you, Sam, or who just want to work in this kind of space. And I think that's the biggest testament to this is there's something real here. Like, there's people who feel the same way that we feel. There's people who feel like they need to create more, and everything resonated with them tonight. And that's all we can ask for, from the docs to the event to the music. We had an experience that they were able to get behind, and I'm proud of that.
I think oftentimes as creatives or entrepreneurs, wherever, you want to downplay what you do because you don't want to make a big scene about it, or it's like you're self-conscious about it becoming a thing. Like, I'm just getting people together to watch these videos I made. But I think it's a testament to like all the work that you put in, and the initial vision of like, yes, the idea was to showcase their stories and give these people an awesome platform to like share their journey. But at the same time, the people that are watching, yes, they want to leave feeling inspired, but they also want to leave feeling empowered about their own journey of whether it's
creating, whether it's running their own business, whether it's whatever it is in their life. And that's the main takeaway that I took from everything, was like every conversation was, some kid came up to me, he's like, fuck man, I gotta make some shit. And I was like,
people are literally like, I gotta quit my job now. Yeah.
It's really hard to be like, oh, I wanna make videos that inspire people. But obviously when I'm making these with Christian and Liam and all the team, like I'm obviously thinking that the way that videos have affected me could also maybe affect someone else. And there's always the intention put behind that the music, the craft, the audio, the storytelling, everything does matter, you know? And I think that you don't think that when you're making it, because you're so pessimistic about the whole process, but seeing it tonight like made me believe that that is actually all worth it.
What's the worst thing where we end up at? But won't you figure it out for me? Wasting outside, 40-hour drive, just to waste some time with you. Need a friend, need someone to help me, want you to love me.
By now, we will have posted all 3 documentaries on the Create More Studios YouTube channel, which you should go check out if you haven't. Do we get a Netflix deal? No. Are we gonna get a brand sponsorship? I don't know, maybe in the future. But what are we gonna really take from this is a lot of inspiration and a lot of confidence to continue to build this brand that we all believe in. And that, I don't think you could put a price on.